This time it was me tongue-tying myself for an inane thing. Hey, internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, Book 7, Under a Red Moon, Chapter 87, Sandstorm. Hey, friends, it's been a few weeks due to Canadian Thanksgiving, and then the following week I injured my back, and I got better. But for about a week or so, I was canceling just about everything because I couldn't sit here for very long. But here we are, a couple weeks later, and we're going to get back to things. So I will do a recap here in just a moment because I'm sure we all could do with a little bit of a refresher as to where we are and what we're doing. So before we get into that, though, I'm going to do a couple of quick announcements here. First and foremost, if you look up above M's head, right over here in the corner, you will see domain dice, domain tomes in this game. They are a way that you, the viewer, can have a bit of an impact on the game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs. You can tip $5 or more through the Ko-fi link. You can type !support, I think, to get all those links. Or you can cheer 500 bits. Both the subscription and the bit cheering has just happened, which changes our totals, of course. And the reason for that is the players can use these tomes for a variety of things, such as they can use them as if they were what are they called in this game now? I just totally lost it. I almost said adversity tokens. No, hero points. Hero points. Which you can redeem for a hero point card, which is a redeemable special ability thing. More often than not, they use them as a reroll. They can reroll the dice and take the new roll. They can spend 3 of them to avoid certain death, but it can only be done once per character per session. Or they can spend 5 of them to change the success level of any dice roll up or down, including my dice rolls. So there's a lot of ways they can use those. Currently, they have 21 of them. We have, if you type !schedule, you can see all the other games that we have on the channel. We have this Pathfinder game. We have a D&D game every other Tuesday when we can get everybody together. We just wrapped, but have a sort of Q&A finale wrap up for our Mythos Lawlerville game coming up next month in just a couple weeks, second Wednesday of every month. We're going to take a little bit of a break, maybe slip a couple one-shots in there, but we will be back in the new year with a brand new Mythos series. Rumor has it, Dwight, the big bearded nerd, is going to be taking us through another adventure, and rumor has it, Em might be coming back for that one, I believe.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, who knows what's going to happen. Last time Dwight terrorized us all, it was an Ellicott Tower. So, and then, of course, you can tune in every Wednesday night for Kids on Bikes. Or rather, Welcome to Paradise, Michigan, our Kids on Bikes game, which Cari and Em are both a part of, along with some other amazing players. And this Thursday is October 26th, so it will be our Halloween episode. And I think some of us are planning on dressing up. Even Cari, who hates wearing costumes. Cari never dresses up for any character.
My costume might be less exciting than M's, let's just say that. I will be wearing what my consistency matters.
Right. Let's see, what else do we got coming up? Oh, just a reminder, as we're heading into November, followed by December, we got some big holidays coming up, and MTD traditionally takes the month of December off, almost the entire month. We might pop in for 1 or 2 games here or there, a lot of our campaigns go on hiatus for the month of December, so we can all enjoy our just enjoy the holiday season. So just know that we might have some sporadic showings, but you can catch all of our VODs over on youtube.com/anyterraindomain. The last couple things I want to mention before we get into the game proper is just to remind you or let you know that all of us here at the game table, we have safety tools in place. We are in active communication with one another, and we know and respect each other's lines and veils. But we do have safety tools in place to protect ourselves, because sometimes situations, conversations, backstories, even descriptions, and language can get a bit intense. If that is something that is not for you, that is okay. But you definitely don't want to be here if that's not for you. So head on over to youtube.com/miniterraindomain and look up Legends of Eleonora. That is a PG-13 celebrity D&D game, or any of the literally hundreds of games that we have recorded over on YouTube. Or you can even check out some of the old crafting tutorials. And finally, just a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. It is true. There are any number of reasons that you might be struggling. It doesn't matter what that reason is. Just know that, 1, it is okay to not be okay. And 2, you do not have to struggle alone. At any time, you can come into our chat and type !help, as I have just done. A couple of URLs will pop up. Findahelpline.com. Or you can check out takethis.org's growing list of resources. I encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, Cari, what time is it? Cari's not here! This has never happened before!
Let's find the paths, bitches!
All right, Gary rhymes with Cari, and that was good enough. It's time to find some paths, bitches. So, Cari's gonna be so mad that she missed that. In our most recent,
What happened?
You missed your opportunity. It's gone. Cari took it.
It's time to find some paths, bitches! No!
Too late.
Too late. Wait,
Too late.
Turns out
Too
Gary
late.
rhymes with
Too little,
Gary,
too late.
but nobody remembers it anymore.
Damn it.
In our most recent adventures, you all you were flying across the... Oh, this is fantastic. My headphones are about to die. This is great timing. I'm gonna try something.
Gonna have to go with the old school earbuds.
I can't.
Or the old
I can't
school
switch.
plugins.
Once OBS picks up on one audio source, you can't switch on the fly. So, I'm going to... One second.
Plug it
It's gonna
in,
be
charge
great.
it while you talk.
While Jake is checking out his headphones, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of great t-shirts like this one with class on it. We also have our cool Paradise, Michigan logo tee and so many more. You can get them on t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, coffee mugs, stickers, and so much more. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
And if you wanted to get a tattoo of any of the designs, talk to Jake. He might be able to help you out.
And if you do it without contacting Jake, it's copyright infringement. We'll take you for all you got.
That took a couple turns I didn't expect, but okay.
We will destroy you financially.
This should work. I have it plugged in while I'm wearing them. They will occasionally remind me that they are losing charge, but shouldn't lose charge. It's just annoying because these headphones, for some reason, when they're losing charge, they cut all audio out except for the voice that says, "Please charging."
Oh, God.
Every time. Fortunately, it's only every few minutes. So I got that to look forward to. Anyway, you all were flying your airship, the Zephyr Hawk, across the Cinderlands Desert about 3,000 feet up. You encountered a group of wyvern riders who were apparently after a young Asimir girl who had crash landed on the deck of your ship, entangled in a net. You fought them off, brutally murdering every one of them and their wyverns. You learned from the girl that they are or were mercenaries known as the Stingwing, hired by some of the orcs at Erglin, the orc tribes, and Marda had taken the helm after this battle, and Marda was not as good as Flip at flying the ship and landed rather roughly in the desert. That left you to walk a couple miles to the settlement of Erglin, where when you entered an area called Warmouth, which is where all the warlords, as well as the bars and taverns and all that good stuff are located, you were met by some old friends of Teera's. The sort of adopted cousin, I just lost his name, Roniker, as well as Yeltha and Rhaegar. Roniker is now the leader of the Roving Wolves tribe. And they invited you back to their headquarters, explaining to you that they were attempting to get the favor of or joining their cause all of the tribes they could, because many of the orc tribes were siding or claiming to their banners for the Whispering Tyrant Tar-Baphon, who is preparing to wage war once again, including the tribe of the Blood Axe. You also learned that there is a faction of outliers from the Blood Axe tribe here in Erglin, whom Flip and Vornush'ka were seeking. They went off looking for that tribe, while Teera and Marda, the girl whose name completely... I was trying to look through my notes. I've completely lost the girl's name. Somebody remind me.
It is Clint. Oh God, I spelled it wrong, and I can't read my own handwriting.
It is... Oh, you almost said enough of it to trigger in my mind what it is.
Is it Clinidra?
No.
I can't. Thank you. Well, strike 3. I'm done. I can't.
This is the downside of having literally like 30 pages of notes just sprawled across my desk, because I've misplaced the one. Leandra, yes.
Thanax dyslexia.
Yeah. So anyway, the four of you are staying back at the Roving Wolves headquarters. Roniker, Yeltha, and Rhaegar left to tend to other matters. While the other two were gone, a sandstorm began kicking up, blowing sand in the streets. People began shuttering their buildings, taking refuge. But Flip and Vornush'ka are caught out in the streets of Erglin in Warmouth, looking for the Blood Axe tribe, while the rest of you are inside the headquarters. Right now, the wind is blowing against, rattling the bones and wood structure, as you are being led to an area that you could sort of imagine it as like a sort of like a large tent, but within this structure there's animal skins that are draped across. It's a large room with several bedrolls of furs and things like that are laid out. There's enough for your entire party to stay in here, and that's where Marda, Kane, Cleandra, and Teera are led. So we're going to go to the four of you right now, as you've been kind of led rather hastily to this room by one of the servants. Is there and the wind is picking up, and you can definitely even feel some of the sand and stuff that's blowing in through the cracks and coming up underneath. That it's growing in intensity. Marda, Teera, the other two, what are you doing?
Teera would have definitely tried to snag like one wine bladder of fermented yak's milk as they were led to this room, just to kind of like have. Yeah, Tira's just kind of like sitting and thinking, and as the storm picks up outside, she's like trying to convince herself that it's not as bad as it is, because she does not want to be stuck here. But it seems more and more with each passing minute that we will be.
I think that Marda follows Teera, and I assume like as they're sitting in this room, you can hear the sounds of the wind just howling. Do you think that Flip is going to mention the fact that we probably have a buried airship out there?
I think if Flip remembers, he will most definitely mention that.
I was going to say, or maybe a better bet is how long before we first see him that he mentions it?
That's a great question.
30 seconds?
I mean, I'd put the over-under at 30, and I would say under. And Teera takes a big swig of this milk, and she'd be like, fuck. And she would just look at Marda and say, between you, me, and the fence post, I was planning on sneaking out of here tonight and never looking back. But that's not going to happen now, as the fates would have it.
Marda looks. I take it that this reunion is not going exactly how you thought? Or maybe this reunion at all isn't exactly what you wanted?
Both. Yeah, definitely both. I would have been very happy to never see any of those three again. But then it was pleasant, and then it very much wasn't. I'm just starting to assume that some people in life are meant for joy and some people are not, and I'm one of the are not.
You do not have the best of luck when it comes to reuniting with people from your past, huh?
No. No. Apparently not. I mean, you've been great and everything, Kane, but...
Well, we didn't start off on the best of foots. Best of feet.
We did not start off on the foots of the best. Certainly not. But, I mean, I think we can all depend on each other now. Presuming Flip and Vornush'ka live. I mean, these sandstorms out here can be... Shit, I've heard they can just fucking skin a man alive. If they get out in it, you know? It's like sandpaper.
Kane kind of looks at one of these bone... It looks... You realize now that you're inside this room, a lot of the beams that are rising up from the floor and kind of curving up, they're either massive tusks or rib bones from some kind of megafauna creature that you've not seen. And he just kind of puts his hand on one, kind of testing the solidity of it. Oh, that might explain why bones are such a ready building material, yeah.
Yeah.
You might notice, though, that since you've walked into this room, Kane is pacing back and forth. He seems to either be picking up on the same nervousness that you have, Teera, or something else. He's pacing back and forth like a dog or a wolf that's agitated by something and
Brother,
trapped.
You may as well get comfortable. We're gonna be here for a while. And you're driving me nuts.
I'm as comfortable as I can be. As he paces by you, he kind of says the words as he walks past you, turns around on his heels and walks back.
I want to trip him.
Yeah, go ahead and make Just make a athletics check, and then I'll roll his dexterity.
I got a 31.
Let's see, his dexterity.
He is pretty dexterous.
Would it be his? I guess it would be his.
I think that'd be a reflex save. That sounds like a reflex
Yeah, I was gonna say
save
that'd be
to me.
reflex. So that would make it 34.
Shit.
As
Almost.
as you put your foot out, and he just sort of does this little stutter step that's like practiced at dodging like roots and things. You remember he said that he spent a number of his formative years working as a hunter and tracker. He just gives you kind of a dirty look, but he resumes his pacing, but on the far side of the room, away from you.
Teera just shakes her head and keeps drinking.
Marda, Glindra kind of looks at you. She's been very quiet since you all got here and the confrontation with Roniker, all of them, and she says, "That orc, he knew my name. He knew my true name. I barely held it together. It's almost as if he knew that I was here, didn't know which of us might be me, if that makes sense. If I hadn't have resisted that, I would have turned into my draconic form."
Marda nods. Well, I mean, they said they have been looking for you for 6 months now. So that is, I'm sure they're getting a little bit desperate. So, I mean, what are the odds that they would find the old family and they're looking for this dragon? It just, I can imagine that it all seems just a little bit too coincidental. He did not know it was you. So, yeah, there is a little bit of solace in that, no?
Maybe. I don't want to be around him again. It's not just that I would have changed in front of him. With my true name, that would give him control. And I don't want to be under his control. As she says that, you feel more than hear a tremendous crash somewhere just outside of this overall structure, as if some other building has fallen down in the storm. With that crash, we are going to cut to Vornush'ka and Flip in the middle of the sandstorm. Sand is whipping up all around you, and you have just barely seen. Your visibility is super limited.
Sure.
You're not blinded completely, but any perception checks will be at -4 in the sandstorm. You have just barely seen as a 2-story bone and wood structure was blown over and collapsed into another one not far away from you.
The Vornush'ka reaches into her pouch, and she has 2 pairs of goggles that her brother gave her a long time ago. She doesn't know what they do or how they work, but she's like, Vorn gave these to me long ago when I was a child. and kind of like, you know, how when you're reaching back towards someone, you can't figure out where they are because you're kind of blinded, and kind of looking for Flip, like, where's your hand in the darkness? Here are these goggles here.
So Flip reaches out and he's like, "Oh, cool. This would be a callback if I was here." And he puts the goggles on, and he's like, "Well, this is an unfortunate situation." Oh, are we putting on actual goggles? Are we getting our props?
Yeah, Vornush'ka's like, these ones have spikes that Vorn gave me because he said they make me look cool. And she looks over at Flip. Do I look cool?
You've never looked cooler. These make me look like I'm going to give out a prescription for hemorrhoid cream, but I'll take what I can get, I guess, in this trying time.
I had them upside down because they're like eyelashes, but now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Now I look cool.
Yeah, now you definitely look cool.
Sand getting in my mouth. We should stop talking and start moving.
I feel like Vornush'ka just got the Vorn's goggles of intimidation, but Flip got Vorn's reading goggles.
Yeah. Yes.
That's perfect.
They're
Yeah, no, we
bifocals.
should definitely
Got
we
yourself lucky.
should definitely go somewhere and do something. We're having a really in-depth conversation in the middle of a very intense storm. It feels like these two things are incongruous.
Kind of like us falling from the sky and having our moment.
I need both of you to make a fortitude saving throw as a sudden gust of wind punctuates Flip's
It is just
sentence.
giving you guys such like a rash.
But I will tell you, because of the genius callback and the goggles, your penalty is reduced to -2 instead of -4.
I got 23.
And I'm just rolling what now?
You are rolling a fortitude saving throw against.
And of course, I can barely see that through the goggles on the computer screen, but we're gonna go for it.
I think that says a nat 20. I can't quite tell because of the goggles, but
what
we're
does
gonna
that
just
say
go
there?
with
No, I got a 19. So 2 plus 17 is 19.
So
it.
20,
Hey!
a 23 and a 19.
Look at you guys.
So as this gust of wind blows, you are each going to take 6 slashing damage from the sand blowing across your face and any exposed skin. And you take 15 bludgeoning damage from the debris that hits you. It's a combination of debris hitting you and you being sort of thrown up against one of the structures. Yeah.
This is what I call it, a facial exfoliation. Is that what girls do? What do you guys go? What's the word? Exfoliation?
We exfoliate.
Not
From time to
exfoliate. Not we're not exploiting anyone. We're exfoliating.
Yes.
Yes, it's exfoliation, not exploitation.
Okay. So yeah, orc exfoliation, and Vornush'ka
Yeah.
gonna say we should probably find some shelter.
Yep.
Only Vornush'ka turns hazardous weather into a skincare regime.
Mhm. Oh my god. Vornushka's
So-
skin's gonna be so soft after this.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's very difficult. You had walked quite a ways away from Eartha's, the place where you met Eartha, the ogre, I believe it was.
Yes, Ogrekin.
The ogrekin. And you were headed in the direction of where you saw the banners for the Blood Axe tribe. Most of the places around here have shuttered their doors, and you're not familiar with where you're at. So I just need to know where you're going to try to go, what you're going to try to do, and then I will tell you what to roll.
Oof. Oof.
How far were we from the place where we wanted to go?
Roughly, judging by the flags you saw in the building, the equivalent of what would be a couple city blocks.
we should probably just try and cuddle up beside a building or in an
That's what I was
alley and
thinking,
wait
too.
it out. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Go ahead and
Hey,
give
can I-
me survival checks.
And can I just tell you how annoyed I am that my boat is going to be buried? I am going to give Marda the biggest shit. Like I'm not even going to see Marda, and as soon as Marda's within earshot, I'm going to be yelling at Marda. Okay? just the it is going to be a sandstorm of insults for burying my boat. If she hadn't crashed it, we would be fine. But no, gotta crash the boat. Thought you'd be good at it. No, it's sucking.
Vornush'ka kind of hears this muttering and throughout like the wisps of the sandstorm, and I rolled a 21 on survival.
I got a 17.
With that, you find
Interesting.
find what you believe, for the moment, to be safe up under a slight overhang of crisscrossing bones against an unknown building. Sort of pressing yourself into this recess, you're getting a little bit of a respite from the gusts of wind, and if anything, the wind seems to be pressing you tight against the building. So for the moment, things seem to be safe. Cutting back.
Hold on real quick.
Oh.
Vornush'ka looks over at Flip, and she goes, "I think your flying boat is fucked."
The level of fucked that my flying boat is will determine the level of rage that I express toward Marda's terrible piloting. I left and I saved Kane. I saved you. All I said to Marda, pilot my boat. And before I asked Marda to pilot my boat, I said, can you pilot my boat? And she's like, yeah, I think I have the skill to do it. Spoiler alert, she did not.
What's a spoiler?
So cutting
kind of feels
go
some
ahead.
like that feeling of glee when you watch someone be irritated. What's that called? The
Schadenfreude.
yes. She feels like a little bit of that, like a little pinch of that happiness, and there's something of her that like itches towards, like with that negative feeling. The blood X kind of like triggers a little bit, like a small,
Ooh.
like a little pinprick.
Ooh.
With
Sorry.
that, we'll cut back over to the interior of the tent, where the four of you are in this little area. Teera, you've got your bladder of yak's milk, and Kane continues to pace agitated. I would like each of you make a perception check.
Oh boy. Oh god. Shit. 23.
22.
23, 22, and that's going to be for Kane's perception. So Kane got a 20, and somebody roll a
For the record,
d20
I'm
for
super.
Kalindra.
I got it. Leandra got a 12 on the die.
Okay, so that is a
For the record, I am mega jealous of all of you who have had a headrest on your office chair this whole time. I've never had a headrest on my office chair, and this is fucking heavenly.
so that's a 34 for Kalindra. 20 for Kane. Okay, so let me just double check real quick. That's going to be a 26. So did any or 25? Did any of you get a 25 or higher? I don't think so. I think 23 was the one I heard. Okay. As you're sitting there, Marda, you see Kalindra looking every bit the frightened 16-year-old girl as she suddenly rapidly taps your knee and starts pointing over at the corner of the room behind Teera. Under the edge of where the animal skins are pulled taut against some of these bones, as the wind is blowing harder outside and you can feel the whole structure shaking, you see a gust of wind blow some sand in underneath, and it swirls in that sort of swirling eddy, and you see that it continues to swirl until it rises up to about humanoid size and has a vague humanoid shape, and then it splits off into two.
Oh no.
And I need those of you in the tent to roll for initiative.
Fuck. Oh, we got assassins, bitches. Okay. Shit the bed. I always botch initiative. I have never gotten a good initiative roll ever in my life.
Shitting the bed is one of the worst things that can ever happen to a human being.
My God. Thank you for that information, Ricky. I've
never shat the bed, but I can only imagine.
Nor have I.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Ricky, it's okay to not say things sometimes.
Can I just say...
We were just talking about this before the game, too.
Can I just say that I'm very hopeful that everyone in the tent survives, but I would be okay if Marda got a little...
You are such a dick. Why do you say shit like that?
Marda gets hit with like a rogue piece of the ship.
Yeah, like the
entire
masthead.
The entire ship comes crashing through the tent.
She has the nameplate Evangeline right through her fucking chest.
Wrong game.
You said it was the Evangeline.
No, I said it was a Zephyr Hawk.
Zephyr Hawk. Fuck.
Evangeline's the ship in Kids on Bikes.
Mm-hmm. It's all starting to run together, man.
Yep. I mean, one's fantasy and one's, I was gonna say reality, but well, not really. Marda, what'd you get for for initiative 30?
30, yep.
And Teera, it's an 18. As these figures rise up, Kane seems to see what is happening, sees what Kalindra's pointing at, and he is going to immediately I remember what weapons he has. Let's see, he's got
all the weapons.
So Teera, you see Kane in the midst of his pacing. You just hear that sound you know so well, the sound of a longsword being drawn, as he just suddenly whips his longsword into the air as he seems to be running right towards you. He steps up onto one of the logs that's sitting around the fire pit in the middle. The fire's not burning, but it's a log set around for sitting on or whatever, and he steps on it, and he just brings his longsword down right next to you. And as he does so, that is going to be let's see, so for his attack,
what a stud.
That's a 30 to hit.
God damn it. We're fine.
As he, let's see what the AC is. Yeah, he comes in with this longsword, brings it down into what you now see, just sort of as you followed the motion, into a roughly man-shaped whirlwind of sand. That is going to be... Ooh, max damage. This is going to be 14 points of slashing damage. As he strikes into this thing, you see his sword cuts through it, and immediately the sand goes and seems to separate and blow out into the room, and is sort of now just loose particles of sand blowing around the room as this creature disperses.
Nice.
He's holding his sword. He looks over at the other one. He's going to take a follow-up attack with a -5 penalty. As he swings his sword at the second one, he is... I'm sorry, Teera. Because you are in immediate close proximity, this could be bad for you. He rolled a natural 1.
Oof. Well, it's fine. He doesn't have anything to feel guilty about with me.
We'll see.
In the picture.
So with a melee attack, he swings around for this second one, and he goes to step up on another log. And as he does so, this log kicks out from under him.
Ooh. And
the sword kind of hits against one of the bone frames at the top, bounces back and clips himself in the shoulder. So Kane is going to take 9 points of slashing damage from himself because of a critical fail. Marda, as you see Kane get hit and sort of drop, not really prone, but he sort of drops down, cussing himself out. It is your turn.
Have these dust clouds, you said they're vaguely kind of humanoid size. Have they coalesced any more into any shape?
They have the look of the silhouette of a humanoid figure, roughly 6 foot in size, but they are not coalescing any further. As near as you can tell looking at them, they seem to be made up of sand and wind.
And they're seeming very aggressive. Like, Kane reacted pretty aggressively, and I could assume that
so
it was for good reason.
I feel like they would have knocked if they didn't have ill intent.
To be fair, because you did see them as Kalindra pointed them out, Kane made the first hostile action. What you saw from them was they came uninvited under the wall of your living quarters. Kane saw one rising up behind his sister and took action.
That's really fair. Yeah.
Tough to justify. Sneaking in.
Yeah, I don't think that they have a real good leg to stand on there. Okay, so with that then, Marda is going to kind of reach out her hand. You have a lot of tricks. I have one as well. And she is going to, all of a sudden, I would imagine that some of this wind similarly comes out from, or some of the sand comes out from beneath the tent and is going to quickly snap over one of these targets, and they have to make a fortitude save.
Okay, so the one that Kane went for, the second one, is the only one that's corporeal right now. The other one dispersed and is basically just sand particles in the air.
Yeah, Marta's targeting the corporeal one.
So that is fortitude, you say?
Yeah.
That is a 14.
Ah. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong spell. So that is 10 below.
Oh.
Okay.
Which is a critic.
It would be a critical fail then, yes.
Fail. All right. It is immobilized for 1 round, or until it escapes, and also it is going to take 22 points of piercing damage, and 18 points of negative damage.
Oh my god! Fuck this thing. So dead. Dead!
So, sorry, how many points of each?
So 22 points of, what did I say, piercing damage, and 18 points of negative damage.
That's 40 total.
That's why Marda wanted to ask. She just wanted to make sure before she absolutely wrecked
Marda's
this
just
thing.
like,
So,
are we sure everything's okay? Okay.
as you hit this, you notice that the sand that's swirling around it, because of this immobilization, it's like the central structure of it suddenly solidifies almost like a sand sculpture, and you see even more so the featureless silhouette of a humanoid figure, where it was almost going like this, and then around its form are loose particles of sand that are swirling, as you've immobilized it and apparently done a crap ton of damage to it.
Damn. Marda's just wrecking shit.
So it can try to escape.
Yep. But as I understand it from immobilize, it can't take any actions that require the move trait. The force must succeed to check instances in place for the relevant defense of the creature holding you in place. So potentially,
would we know this? Like, would Marda shout out, "Run" or something? Would Marda shout out? It's okay. Would Marda shout out like "run" or something? Like, how are we gonna know that we can run or escape? Or do we?
Yeah, I think Marda. Well,
we could also just fucking.
Yeah, Marda's gonna wait. Like, we're doing pretty okay right now, so I think
I feel good about this.
I feel
good about this.
I feel confident. You know, might be too early to tell, but
let's let it ride.
Let her cook. Like, let's just.
So after Marda, would be Clyndra's turn. Clyndra is going to I think Clyndra. Oh, I hate when it only shows it down at the bottom. You see what almost looks like from the wind howling in under the seams, and this creature that sort of burst and is swirling sand around. Clyndra's hair starts sort of floating around her head, very much like Drew Barrymore in Firestarter, and her iridescent wings, that she's, for the time that she's been in here, they look more like a cape. They do sort of separate and spread out like wings a little bit, and you see her hold her hands out to her side, and her hair suddenly sweeps forward as she pushes air toward the creature that you've affected, and is attempting to get the one that is dispersed. Just need to see.
We're badass. Let's go.
Maybe a tank turn.
Let's go.
Okay, so I need everybody in this tent to make a where does fortitude saving throw.
Okay.
Kane gets
Fortitude save.
Kane gets a fortitude save of
I got a
34.
37.
37, 34,
23.
23.
If it matters, I do have a feat called Juggernaut. If that is a success, it becomes a critical success for me.
That is a success.
I don't know how that would matter, but
That is
so now it's a critical success.
a success. What level is that Juggernaut feat?
4th, I think. Let me look.
7th.
Juggernaut
It's 7th.
is 7. 7.
Okay, I wanted to know where to look because Kane also has Juggernaut.
Hey.
So you and Kane critically succeed at Cleandra's Gust of Wind. You are unaffected. The two of you are unaffected. The creature gets a fortitude, 21, and a 24. So those two are... What happens to them? A violent wind issues forth from her palms, blowing from the point where you are when you cast the spell. The wind extinguishes small non-magical fires. There are no magical fires. Disperses mist and fog. Blows objects of light, bulk, or less around. Pushes larger objects. So, Marda, you are knocked prone and sort of rolled up against the animal skin side of the wall of this room, because yours was a failure. You see Teera and Kane sort of holding their ground, but you also see as both of these creatures, the one that was blowing around the room, all that sand gets shoved against the wall and sort of drops, raining around you, covering you partway. And the one that you had immobilized, you watch as from the top down, this gust of wind that she's controlling just disintegrates it, causing it to completely dissipate as she removes those two threats. However, Kane and Teera, as you see this happen, and because the two of you hold your ground, you see on the opposite side of the room, and you see this because you're kind of looking at Cleandra, blocking the entrance
Oh no.
to this room, or exit in this case, you see, right, it's as if the sand itself for a moment is reaching up and these creatures that look like desiccated zombies, almost possibly like mummies, 3 of them crawl out of the sand. Sand is just dripping off of them. And they begin shambling towards the group of you. Before we get... actually, you're the last one in this round to go. So, Teera, it is your turn.
Okay. Teera would kind of like square up with these things and just be like, everyone, I think it's time to go. And she would like look at Kane and say, think you can make us a back way out, brother? And then she would rage, and I want to attack one of these sand zombie things.
Okay.
Here I go. Hey, that's a 25 to hit sand zombie number 1.
That's a hit.
Hey, there we go. All right, bitches. Let's see. That's gonna be wow. I forgot how much damage my cool sword does. 13, 18 plus 2 for my rage is 20. 20 regular damage and plus another 2 cold damage.
So total
22.
Okay.
And I have one more attack in me, if I can take it.
Yep.
Here I go. Oh, nat 1.
Uh-oh.
It was a 19 and it went fudge.
And that's a melee attack.
Yeah.
I'm just shuffling the deck.
So how bad can it be?
Well, it is... Oops. It is... Oh no. Roll me
Say that.
a D8.
Oh God, I just don't like it when you get creative. 4.
So you're facing the door. So that'd be 1. You're right-handed.
Yeah.
You swing your sword a second time at this thing. You overcompensate, thinking that it's moving faster than it is. And you, in your rage, you swing even harder than you intended, and your sword flies out of your grip and sails off to your left to the side. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So almost like you overswing and it kind of comes back this way. Not far enough back to be a danger to anybody else in the room, but your sword flies across the room. And you know what? Just for fun, let's roll a D100. And there is a 50% chance of this happening.
71.
I rolled a 7.
Ha!
So even if going all the way up would be 96. So it hits one of the cross braces, one of these bone braces, and the pommel hits against the hide wall and it drops to the ground, probably about 10 feet away from you. It does not go blade first, sailing out into the open air on the other side of the wall.
Oh, good.
That's what could have happened.
Oh, good.
As that happens and your sword clatters to the ground, we're going to cut to the streets of Warmouth as a large bone support pillar collapses, clattering to the ground in front of Vornush'ka and Flip. Vornush'ka and Flip, as you recall from your survival check in the last round, I said that you had found cover of what you thought was safe cover up against the side of one of these buildings. I would like you each to make me a flat check. So you're just going to roll a d20.
Wow.
12 and 17. Tell me how the two of you realize and subsequently avoid the building that you had taken cover against suddenly collapsing around you. How do you realize that's happening, and how do you avoid being caught in the collapse?
Vornush'ka will start with and Flip, I'll let you finish, feeling like a slight change in the air pressure, and then does the building get struck by the object? GM?
No, the building didn't get struck by the object. The object
collapsed?
was falling off of the building.
Okay. Yeah, and she just kind of feels a slight change in the air pressure, and then it goes Flip.
Flip looks up and he shouts to no one in particular, "Salty nutcracker!" And then he'll dodge into the street.
And Vornush'ka, hearing the salty nutcracker, are you dodging to the right or left, Flip?
I'm just diving into the street. It sounded like it was a pretty narrow alley.
Is it a narrow alley?
Yeah.
Okay. Vornush'ka goes, if the alley is lateral, like left and right? Correct, GM?
It depends on how you orient yourself. Any alley would be oriented left and right.
Yeah. Well, if
true.
Flip is going to the street, Vornush'ka is going in the opposite direction.
Oh,
So, like, it's a split.
We should definitely split the party further.
That is excellent. Thank you. Glory. This is just me unwrapping the gift you just gave me. As the building collapses between the two of you, Flip and Vornush'ka, you are now separated by a fully collapsed building. Flip, you just see this building crash as Vornush'ka dodges further into the alley on the other side.
Next time you give us shit about splitting the party, I want to remember that you did this to us.
I didn't split you.
Yeah, you didn't split us. You split them.
I didn't split them either. They split themselves. You heard Ricky narrate himself going the opposite direction.
We divide more.
You heard Flip say, "I want to go find this place." This is all you guys. Don't put this on me.
Okay.
And Venuska's gonna yell out through the sandstorm, like, like it sounds broken because the wind is, but she's, Flip, are you there? Can you hear me?
Flip doesn't hear shit.
No.
And Flip is going to are there any hills or other buildings in the near area?
You are in a dense rustic but urban area. There are buildings everywhere.
Okay. Flip will okay. Flip is so there's a building that looks solid across the street.
I mean, as solid as a wooden bone structure can look.
All right, Flip will go walk across the street and try and look inside.
Okay. For the most part, this is like many of the other structures. It looks like any windows or anything like that have been pulled closed. If you're trying to peer behind a loose flap of leather, I almost said peering behind a loose flap of skin. I mean leather. Yeah,
So leather is all right.
As you do so, a thick hand with thick yellow and black nails grabs hold of it and tries to pull it back closed and just says, "Find your own place."
Oh shit. Oh god.
Okay. Flip will go wander over to the next place, and he's going to take out a bottle of scotch, and he's going to walk over to the next place. He's going to try and subtly peek into the window again.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Pretty good at that. 31.
You peer through the leather that's been pulled closed, and looking inside, you can see what looks to be a group of bugbears.
Okay.
3 or 4 bugbears that have moved themselves away from the walls. They're sort of in the center, and they look like they're just kind of sitting around in the middle, huddled together in low conversation.
Flip is going to take a deep breath.
Oh my god.
Before you do that, and I'm not going to interrupt you per se, I want you to roll me a D100.
Oh god. Oh god. Let them be friendly, bugbears. There's no rule that says they can't be friendly.
There's no rule in this lawless city of warlords. They can't be friendly.
No, what if it's like Cheers? They're like, Norm!
98.
I rolled a 99.
Great.
So
they're so friendly. They're the most friendly.
As you open up your mouth to speak.
Well, but I wasn't opening up my mouth. Well, sorry, I'm just clarifying what's happening. I wasn't talking to them.
Even if you weren't opening your mouth to speak.
Okay, sure.
A very thick, calloused hand wraps around, not firmly, but wraps around and kind of goes across your face like this, while another hand sort of braces you. And you hear a voice in your ear that says, "You don't want to mess with them." Let Eartha take care of you. It's the big lady ogrekin.
And then Flip is going to as he's picked up, he's going to cuddle into her like a baby. And he's gonna say, "Oh man, so glad to see you. I'm gonna swim in you like a lake. Let's go home."
Take me home.
Eartha kind of looks down at you, and because of the closeness, you more feel her voice emanating from her chest than you hear it, as she just says, "I couldn't bear the thought since you left of you getting caught out there in the sandstorm. I had to come find you." And then you feel the sort of gentle swaying of her movement back and forth, and you hear the heavy footfalls as she's moving quickly through the street.
I love it. I love it. Oh my god.
Vornush'ka, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm on the other side of a collapsed building. First thing I'm going to do is look around in my Vorn goggles for a place to be safe.
Make me a perception check with a -2.
Let's see.
Is the -2 because of the sandstorm?
Yes. It wasn't
not
-4.
Mitigated by his goggles.
It is. Remember, it was a -4. The goggles reduced it to a -2.
Not know that. Hooray.
Come on. Great googly boogly. Can I roll that again?
You can. You have
Yeah.
21.
Pops.
21
I roll like a
dice.
nat 3. And nat 3 in all game systems is horrible. So here we go.
Well, unless you're playing Call of Cthulhu.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, then it's awesome, right? Okay. This one is a 33 with a natural 20
Hey.
on the D.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, sorry, a -2. -2. That's going to be a 31. Sorry.
Still.
Nice job, Ruckus.
It's not a critical success, but it's still very much a success. As you're looking around, you look to your left as you've sort of moved further into these alleys between these buildings. You're sort of at a T intersection, what would have been a cross intersection, but the collapsed building is now blocking part of that. And looking around and looking to your left, you see was the direction that the two of you were originally heading. And you can just see for a moment, because you're between the buildings, the sandstorm isn't constant, so it's like obscured vision, then it clears a little bit, and obscured and clears, and you see just faintly about a block and a half away the familiar red, white, and black banner of the Blood Axe tribe.
Oh, any port.
We're just going to sprint towards the Blood Axe tribe. That's her people, after all.
All right, I want you to roll me a D100.
Oh God, Vornush'ka. No, you're gonna.
Can I roll 2 D10s and that'd be the same?
That's what a D100 is.
Okay.
He said.
Sorry.
First one is an 8, and the second one is
84.
Okay. So for the first half block, nothing happens. You're good. Roll me one more time. Well, it'll be 2 more times, but roll me again.
3.
33.
Ooh, Mason, Masonic number 33.
Three plus 46. Okay. The one of the buildings near you, the wind kind of gusts and a few pieces of bone and wood structure collapse near you, but you manage to dodge them. And one final D100 roll.
5, 6, 56.
So 56
Hey.
plus 13 is 69. Nice. I rolled a 72, so you are good. The wind is blowing heavily as you pass by cross intersections. Occasionally a gust of wind will threaten to blow you over, but you move out of the way in time. A couple buildings, pieces of these buildings are falling. Debris is blowing through. It's kind of like if you've ever been on a cruise ship and the sea is a little rough. You're trying to walk down the hallway and you're kind of getting moved back and forth. That's kind of what's happening here. And you're bouncing against sides of the buildings, but you make it to a building, and you can now see that you are at the foot of a building that on the third story, this is one of the taller ones, and it is braced against the stone ruins of whatever was here before. You see the banner of the Blood Axe, the Blood Axe tribe up on this third floor.
We shall go into the third floor of the Blood Axe tribe.
So as you looking around for a way in or up, we're going to cut back inside the tent with the group of four. I believe Teera, we had ended on your turn. As
I'm standing unarmed in front of these fuckers.
Yeah, you ran up and attempted to attack one. I just got to double check something. When you begin your action, start your turn, reduce number of actions, load value. Okay. So you see that these creatures are moving slowly. And despite the fact that you lost your weapon and exposed yourself to them, they don't react quickly. It takes a moment for the one to realize that something has happened. It is going to, as it looks it's almost like the two of you look at where your sword went, and then you both look at each other, and it sort of goes, and then much quicker than you expected, one of its fists come up for an uppercut.
Oh God.
That is going to be, do math here, 32 to hit.
Jesus, yes.
Make sure I got that right. Yes, 32 to hit. That is going to do 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 7 is 15 points of damage. And as it clips you in the jaw, with that same hand, it's not so much that it punched you fully in the jaw as it hits you like this, and it has your jaw, and you are now grabbed as it has you by the face.
Ow.
The other two are going to start shambling into the room, and the first one is going to do the same thing, reaching out to Cleandra. That is a 26 to hit. Cleandra's AC. As it reaches out for her, you see her take her wings and just kind of go like this in front of her face, and the thing grasps at feathers and is unable to get a hold of her. And the other one is going to go for Kane. So that's a 27 to hit. Kane has an AC of 26. So this one grabs hold of Kane. Kane takes 1 plus 6 is 7 plus...
This motherfucker's about to get a broken wrist.
7 plus 7 is 14, and Kane is also grabbed. That brings us to the top of the round. It is Kane's turn. Kane is going to attempt
like women's self-defense. Go up and through. Up and through.
Kane is going to attempt to break free of this thing for one action. So that is a 19 plus 19, so a 38 versus a 24. As Kane takes his longsword, the pommel of it, and kind of pushes up against it and knocks it loose. He is then going to swing at it. That is a 35 to hit. So that's 8 points. Well, actually, technically that would be a 30 because he gets the multi-attack or multi-action penalty. But it's still a hit. So he does 8 points of slashing damage to this one, and he's going to go ahead and make a third action. That's a jack die. That's a 14, so that's a 31 becomes a 21. And this thing has an AC of 20, so it's still a hit. So Kane does 11 points of damage to that one. Marda, you are prone against the wall. And you see these creatures from your prone position have moved in. One's grabbed Teera, one attempted to grab Kalindra, and Kane's dealing with the third one. What do you do?
So, Marta's gonna try and stand back up. I assume that's fine.
Yeah, I believe...
That's not fine, actually.
Yeah, stand is an action.
Yeah.
So it uses one of your actions to stand up.
Mm-hmm. And she is... How far away is she from the closest?
Everything in this room is within 30 feet.
Okay.
Or closer, I would say actually more like 20 feet from where you guys are.
She's gonna try and snap the same thing that she did to the sand tornado thing. Is she's going to do the same thing to this zombie thing.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And it has to make a fortitude save.
That is fortitude save, which would be 33.
Okay. It is going to take. Do you round down for damage? For half damage? Round
Yeah,
down?
yeah.
Okay. It's going to be 7 piercing and
Which one are you attacking?
the closest one.
Probably gonna be the one going for Kalindra then.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, definitely.
So 7 piercing.
7 piercing and then 5 negative.
So, what is this? I forgot to ask the first time you did it. The spell you're doing, what is it? You mentioned something snapping over them.
It's called the Vampiric Maiden.
Holy crap!
God damn.
Bury
That's
the
metal
lead.
as fuck.
What does this? What exactly does the spell look like when you're doing this?
So I imagine that it's very similar to like this like sand, but you can see the similar that like veining that Marda has on her skin, except it coalesces. It almost if you've ever seen mushrooms grow, that hyphae where it kind of just like expands out and grows in this like very weird liminally smooth but branching lines. It does this in the sand as it grasps around, just kind of clamps shut over these skeletons, and you can see that as it does so, it kind of pulses with the energy that it's draining from them.
So you see, as these veins of vampiric energy sort of lash into this creature, working their way up, you see that it's piercing into it and damaging it, but you see that vampiric negative energy, wherever it travels across this thing, it seems to almost stitch its skin back together again, and you instead heal it 5 points.
Oh no.
If you would like,
Well,
you
shit.
can make a recall knowledge undead religion check or a
Okay.
generalized lore check.
I got a 29 on religion.
You realize by the way these are reacting and the nature of your own spells that these are undead creatures called hollow husks. They are often the zombie remains of those who have died, usually in battle in the desert. And like many undead, they are healed by negative energy.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Good to know. Marta makes a mental note of that.
All right. Anything else?
It is her turn.
All right.
No, that's it.
Cleandra, in reaction to the one that tried to grab her, she is going to it's a fight-based one. Yeah, that could work. Ooh. Okay, I think this is what she's gonna do. She is going to grab at the one. Let me see if she has to actually grab it. Hold on, where to go?
I would do a plug right now, but I only get one allotted per game.
Who said
That's about
that?
it. Beyond that, it's beyond my quota. No, I say that. That's in my contract.
He starts to charge per word.
Okay, so she sort of reaches toward the one that grabbed at her, and you see a as she reaches out, electricity's dancing across her fingertips, and suddenly electricity arcs out of her hand into the one that just tried to attack her, and then it forks towards the one that was attacking Kane, and then the one that has grabbed hold of Teera. And each one of them needs to make a reflex saving throw.
Each one of us, or
No,
the
each one of the
Sandies?
creatures, the husks.
Got it.
So the first one gets a 23, which is a fail. 24, which is a fail. 24, which is a fail. So each one of them is going to take 25 points of electric damage, and you see parts of these things where the electricity is hitting them. The sand that makes up part of these creatures turns to glass. So there's like patches of glass on their bodies as each one of them takes 25 points.
That's badass.
Teera, it is your turn.
Great. Does this one still have me by the face?
Yep, and you see the lightning sort of electricity arcing across it, but it doesn't. It's like arcing up its arm, but it seems to dissipate before it gets to you.
Okay. I would like to just like try to escape. Like, that's an action? I assume.
Yep, it is your athletics
something.
versus its or sorry, it is you're making a. Hold on, I totally forgot how to escape. It's not athletics. You're versing its. No, sorry. Yes.
Is attempt to escape from being grabbed. Choose one. Yeah.
I think it's
Sorry.
your
You know,
athletic. Is it your athletics versus their fortitude, or your?
It would seem like that would be makes. That
I've
would make
literally
sense.
forgotten how escape works. All of a sudden,
You can attempt an acrobatics or athletics check instead of yes.
there you go. So it
athletics.
versus
Yay.
their fortitude.
Here I go.
DC.
Shit. It's a 22, and he's only made of sand. Weak.
Well, he's made of
Weak.
He's made of skin, sand, bone. You got a 20.
22.
The DC was 25.
I want to re-roll that.
Okay.
I rolled terribly. Using one of my tomes. Here we go. That's worse. I want to re-roll it again. Fucking A, God.
Let's
damn
go.
it, fucking thing. Jesus
Welcome to
Christ.
my world.
Yeah, 35 now.
How many times did you re-roll?
God. Twice. I only used 2.
Okay.
Two. Please. Thank you.
You're struggling against this thing, and then suddenly you're able to
Ugh.
get hold of it and break free.
Okay, that was one action to escape. I want to run and grab my sword with my other action.
Okay. So,
How close is my sword?
your sword was about 10 feet across the room.
So I guess then after I have my sword, that's 2 actions. I guess I will position myself between my friends and these sand zombies. I will
All right.
kind of like
So you
take
escape,
up a
run
defensive-
over, grab your sword, and then take up a defensive position against them.
and then Teera one more time would be like, "It's time to go," and like would just kind of like try to get somebody to frickin', I don't know, help, get out, slash a thing in the wall and go out the back into the sandstorm. I mean, I don't know if that's better, but
So these things, these hollow husks are going to attempt another attack. The one is going to move towards you, Teera. The one that you just escaped from.
mm-hmm.
And it is going to attempt with a 30 to punch and grab you. Is that a
That hits.
success?
Yeah.
It's probably equally frustrating that this thing is moving so slow. That's 18 points of bludgeoning, and this time it grabs you around the throat.
Okay.
So it had to use.
I
a
imagine this
stride
happens
action.
like right when Teera turns around to talk to the people around her, she turns back and it's just like,
Yep.
just immediately.
The other one is going to attempt Kane. That is a 23 to hit. That is a miss. And then it attempts a second time, which is 22 to hit. So it takes 2 swings at Kane, missing both times. The third one is still attempting to grab Cleandra. That is an 11 plus 15 is a 26. As she... What's her AC? As this thing makes an attempt to strike her, 26 on the first one, 29 on the second one. This thing's trying to grab at her, and you see her scrambling back and sort of juking out of the way. And she seems to move with more dexterity and speed than you've seen from her. She's avoiding getting hit by this thing as she moves and positions herself next to you, Marda. That was all 3 of their turn. We're going to cut back to... looks like Gary stepped away for a moment, so... Vornush'ka. You're at the building.
I'm ready. Mm-hmm.
And you are looking around. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you're looking around the building and to figure out how you're going to get up.
Here we go. Perception. Big money. Natural 19 with my perception bonus is a 32.
You make like halfway around the base of this building, and you find where part of the wall is roughly, I mean, it's tight, but it's roughly an orc shoulder width away from the other part. It's not a door so much as it is almost like a, I don't know how to describe this other than as a grenade wall. It's where you have a wall and another wall, and then there's like a, where it curves around. In the military, that prevents you from being able to throw grenades into a bunker.
Gotcha.
But you find that opening, and you're able to move inside this structure. And inside, you find this lower level of this building looks to be pretty deserted, and looks like nobody's currently inhabited this place. But you do find a bone ladder, bone that's been lashed together with ropes to form a ladder that leads up to an upper floor. Do you take it?
And this is the Blood Axe.
It's the Blood Axe
banner building.
Yep.
Okay. Vornush'ka kind of takes her breath, and she's inside the building, and she feels relief. She pulls her goggles up, puts them back in her satchel. And you said this lower level is kind of sparse, right?
Yes.
Okay. In the way that a frat boy or a sorority girl would go to a place where they expect to see their banner and their colors and their symbols, but there's none there, you know, she kind of is like, where's your pride? The leadership of this... I've been away for too long. And you said there's a bone ladder?
Yep.
And just to be clear, there is nothing to distinguish that this is a Blood Axe room in this base level outside of the banner, correct? On top of the building.
Right. You
Or
saw
in
on
front
the
of the
third
building.
floor the banners from the outside. And you're on the first floor.
And she's like, are we so impoverished that we can't promote strength from the bottom? No matter. And she finds the ladder and she begins to climb them up to the top.
All right. You begin climbing up the ladder, and we cut to outside, nestled in the safe embrace of Eartha the ogre. Can flip. Eartha leans her face down close by you and says, "Where do you want me to take you? I can take you where you want to go, or I can take you to my place."
Well, that sounds like an appealing invitation. So why don't we go back there and ride out the storm?
Riding the storm out, waiting for the fallout.
As you say that, you feel her shift direction as she's completely shielding you from the sand and the wind, and you feel and hear those heavy footfalls, and you can feel the sudden shifts. At one point, let me do this.
At first I was afraid, I thought I would cry. And then Eartha came and I knew that I would not die. As we walked together through the storm.
Go ahead and roll me a d20 and add 12 to it.
How about you roll a d20? 28.
You can feel and hear the wind gusting past Eartha, but she still seems unperturbed by it. Roll me one more d20.
Huh.
14.
You hear the sound somewhere nearby, very close, of bone and wood snapping, splintering, and crashing as another building collapses in the storm nearby. And you feel disorientation for a moment as you realize that in order to dodge this, Eartha dove forward and did a sort of shoulder roll. So while you're sort of tucked in, you get momentarily flipped over, and then boom, she's up on her feet. And after a moment, you can hear where you're nestled in. You just hear the rapid of her heartbeat, and all of a sudden, the sound of the storm around you changes, and you feel more movement. And then you hear this sound of creaking metal. And then you feel more movement. And then... And with that sound, all sounds of the storm have receded.
Oh my god.
And Eartha releases you and gently sets you down. And you are bathed in a warm orange glow as you are in a room that's probably about 30 foot in diameter and has a ceiling that is about 15 feet high. And you see that you have come down from up above you is now a closed metal hatch. And carved into the wall of the one side where this hatch is are these into the stone. It's like steps, like a ladder almost. That's probably how she came down in here. And you see in this place, there's a fire burning in the middle. There's a couple places where there are vent pipes, and you can see what looks like is probably where Eartha sleeps. You can see where there's some pots and pans in one of those like metal tripods with a big stew pot over the fire. There is off in one corner, or not corner, it's round, one side of the space, there is what looks like the fantasy equivalent of a dorm room bookshelf. So instead of cinder blocks and planks of wood, it's skulls of various animals and humanoids, and then what looks like salvaged wood. But on these shelves, amidst various food sundries and things like that, there's at least a couple shelves that are just filled with books.
Oh wow.
This is a very well appointed Ogrekin's den that appears to be underground and completely safe from the storm.
Flip is going to walk over to the bookshelf and see if there's anything written by him.
Oh my god.
I am going to roll a D100. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is a 1% chance. So technically it would be a 2% chance. So if you get within one or either side, directly on or within one of either side of what I just rolled, you can tell me what book you find of yours on the shelf.
All right, 1 + 1.
Flip is quite prolific. I would argue he should get 10%.
He's not that prolific. This is Erdwin.
I think we should burn down all the die until we get it. So you get it.
I rolled a 65.
I rolled a 78. So you don't find any books by yourself.
Damn.
But I will say that you do find a couple of notable works. You can tell us what those might be.
There's a book of geography, which is talking about all the highlights of Absalom. It's like a food tour of the city. It's called Eat Your Way Happy. And
as you look at that one, she just kind of over your shoulder goes, I thought that book was about something else, but it turned out to be quite a delightful cookbook.
Yeah, no, totally. I hear you. I'm quite a prolific writer myself.
Really?
Yes, I'm very famous for my writing, my stand-up comedy, my singing,
My medical practice.
my forensic archaeology, my legal skill. I'm the foremost lawyer in all of this continent. I'm a great pilot. There's really nothing I'm not good at except navigating through the wilderness. You'd be surprised. I get lost really often.
Not as surprising as you would think. I saw you getting lost in the middle of the city.
Yeah, look, you want to talk about nobles or weird cults or nudist improv troops. I'm your goblin.
Nudist improv troops, you say?
Yeah.
Tell me more. And she walks over to a side to a different shelf, and she pulls out a dusty bottle of some kind of liquor and a couple of rough clay mugs. She kind of and then dusts off the bottle, and she and she brings you over a glass.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten what we were talking about.
I didn't really try. Let's get along.
Just take a drink, and we'll talk about whatever while we ride out the storm. With that, I think we're gonna fade away, and
The camera pans slowly over to the fire.
Hold on, did you just do a Marvin Gaye?
Goddamn right, I just did.
Okay. I heard it. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to break the scene.
I will leave.
Eartha has a record player. She only has Marvin Gaye.
I will
Marvin Gaye's
leave
legit.
without
People sleep on Marvin Gaye.
remembering our safety tools and our lines and veils. I will leave the what actually happens up to Flip, without going into any details. So we can Flip can tell that tale however he wants at a later time. But suffice it to say, Flip, that you have found a safe place to ride out the storm, and have some fine drink. And it is indeed fine drink. It is a very fine,
No shit.
very strong whiskey.
Good for you, Eartha.
As Vornush'ka, you are climbing up this bone ladder. You reach the top floor, and I would like you to make a perception check, please.
No. Don't die, Vornush'ka. Don't die.
Death comes to us all. We're gonna re-roll that too. How about that?
I don't know what that was. I just went.
You're just delighted
I
right
don't
now.
know
You're
why.
just delighted.
I mean, I don't want to burn down all the die on my own
Hmm.
selfish, constant gambling addiction, but here it is. Just got an 8, so that'd be a 21 total.
1 second. So I've made my roll. I'm just trying to find what the modifier is. Where is it? There. Okay. You rolled a 21, you said?
That's correct.
I rolled a 19.
Here we go.
So as you're coming up the ladder, you sense as you're stepping up into the space that there are three individuals that have placed themselves around. So this ladder is going to have you coming up through sort of like an open trapdoor area into the middle of a room. And as you start to come up, maybe it's the creaking of the floorboards, maybe it's a shadow, whatever it was. You sense that there are three individuals that are waiting for you to pop up. They are at the ready, tensed. What do you do?
Laugh. Just laugh, and as she comes up, am I able to breach the top and get to my feet, or do I see them climbing, like as I'm climbing?
That perception check was good enough that you know that they are waiting to ambush you if you come through.
And Vornush'ka laughs very deeply and reaches out her dominant hand, and the blood axe kind of like flies to her hand from the back, and you hear like this gripping shunk as it hits her hand, and
that's all you have to do. As the blood axe flies into your hand, the next sound you hear are three orcs dropping to one knee.
Oh.
War Chief Vornush'ka, is that you? They say you hear one say in Orcish.
Yes.
Jarhawk, it is.
Come.
And
We would be honored if you step into our place.
Our place.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like
Honored if you joined us in our dorm room.
Yeah.
Welcome to
What's
our
up,
crib.
Fago? Do you have red Fago? So anyways, Vornush'ka continues to hold the axe, and she goes, "Yes, Jarhawk, we have much to discuss." And it kind of, when she resheathes the axe, it almost sounds as if two very dense metal magnetic pieces re-adhere, like clunk, as it puts it back on her back. And her eyes kind of flash with a brief, like, quick snap flash of red lightning in her eyes. She goes, "Yes."
As you step up into the room, you identified Jahak. Who are the other two? These would be, each one of them would be the equivalent of, I guess, like your lieutenants. So you know that each one of them commands a couple dozen orcs, or at least they did, as far as you know. So who are the other two? We have Jahak.
The other one is Martak, and she is a female orc that is probably about 1.5 feet taller than Vornush'ka. Like, she's really tall and really big and really imposing. And the other one is Kwasak. And Kwasak is the apprentice of the back in my story back last year, there was a shaman orc that was held the Eye of Grumble and such. That would be her apprentice, and she's probably about half the age, and younger, but yeah. So she's an apprentice shaman, and that one is Kwasak. Jahak, and Matak. A lot of Klingon sounding names.
Yeah.
They're guttural. That's the fucking language, man. That's perfect.
As you step up into space, Jahak says, I am glad that you found us. But why are you here? How did you come to be? I have many questions, and I'm sure you do as well. We can discuss when we ride out the storm. Like much of the city during the Sandstorm, everybody has shuttered their buildings and is hiding out, trembling and scared, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to a shot of Flip and Eartha just sharing another glass.
Wow, this is great. I feel so cozy and comfortable.
As we cut back into the tent. As
they're probably just hiding and chill.
Yeah, hiding and chill, and there's Teera being strangled by one of these things. Kane. Kane is.
God damn it. This is a three-way party split. How did we get here again?
It's all you guys. I had nothing to do with it. Yeah, Kane is going to take a couple quick slashes at this thing. Oh, that is a nat 20.
Oh, Kane is such a bad.
And that's a 19. Wait, does he have something that makes his critical lower? Titan Wrestler wouldn't do that. Thought he had something that made his critical lower, but I could be wrong. Okay, so let's see. Let's do this real quick, just in case, because that's definitely going to be a critical success. Whoops, those are hero points. Let's just see if he does something spectacular with this. So random.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Get him.
This is nope. That's bludgeoning. Can't. Hold on. Gotta move my light. 1 second. Old man eyes. Oh, I'm looking at spellcasting stuff. Hack and slash. Triple damage. The target is flat-footed until its next turn. The first one I saw was bludgeoning, which would have let him. It was a 2-for-1. He would have been able to hit 2 targets instead of 1. So for this triple damage, he does 1d. Oh, max damage of 14. So that's 42 points of damage, which is enough to take out this one. As Kane just comes in. He's been doing these very precise attacks, and this time you see him drop his sword point into the sand, and he sort of rotates, turning his back on the creature as he quickly brings the sword straight up over his head, and you just see an arc of sand and dry skin and bone as he completely eviscerates this thing.
Yeah.
Sand pours out of it and it collapses to the ground as he just stands there for a second, sword up like this. And then he's going to use his second attack. Oh wait, I did. His second attack was a 19, which is definitely a hit. So that one's going to be straight damage. That's going to be 13. As he attacks the one that was attacking Kalindra. Marda, it's your turn.
All right. How many in total are there?
There's 3 of these.
Skeletons? 3. Okay. Marda, like after hearing Teera's kind of, let's go call out, It's like, I can buy us a little bit of time. As she, all of a sudden, she closes her eyes, and this spell looks very different from her other spells. You can see that she glows in like almost a radiant light, which is not usual. But as she does so, you all suddenly hear this crash coming from outside of the tent. And if you'll allow it, Jake, I imagine with sandstorms, there's probably sometimes lightning, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
I imagine that there is like a crack of lightning as this storm carries on, and you see there is a huge humanoid shape standing directly outside of the tent. And it glows with this same radiant energy. Everyone gains 20 temporary hit points.
Oh my god!
This thing will go off soon. We should probably get out of its way.
That's great!
King says, what does that mean, go off?
I am not sure. I haven't. I've only read about what this does before. I'm not sure, but I don't really want to be here when it does. But that's her turn. That's her entire turn.
All right. Cleandra is going to deal with the one that has been in front of her and that Kane has just attacked. And she is going to... Is it this one? Come on. Nope, it's not that one. She is going to... Sorry, there's... Oh, I can't say that. I was going to say something that I can't tell you.
I just saw a TikTok recently about like when you accidentally spill a secret to your players.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like...
the one that was like, nope, doppelgangers don't take damage.
And it's like like
maybe we can play for
angle.
10 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that... Okay, I know exactly what she's going to do. I'm going to go something a little more primal here.
Badass. Primal is cool.
She is going to turn towards the one that is attacking her, and she shifts herself. And you see, Marda, that as Cleandra moves, she kind of shifts herself, and she kind of takes her hands and goes like this. And you see her shift in a way that encompasses the one in front of her and looks like it's going to clip the one that has hold of Teera. And who here, remind me, who here speaks Draconic?
I do now.
As she says in a voice, you hear, Marda, you and Kane hear just this much deeper voice that seems to resonate, this sort of and Teera, you hear her calling on the spirits of her house.
Oh wow.
And her family name. And as she does so, her hair is flying like this again, and you see lightning begin to arc through her eyes. And with her words, you see lightning forming in her mouth, and then just all of a sudden, a cone of electricity shoots out of her mouth. And
Cool.
the two hollow husks need to make a reflex save. I do not think they are going to make this. That is a... that's a 13. And that's an 18. They needed a 29.
What losers.
As this lightning arcs out of her mouth,
they're just gonna get fucking Palpatine, boy.
that is
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's been a long time since I've done this. And 8. I have not rolled this many dice in a while.
Wow, he's hunting for other dice. That's how you can tell. He's going from one side of the screen to the other. He's
I need one more.
compiling them.
She does 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 21, 25, 31 points of electric damage
Ooh.
to each of them.
They
The
sizzle.
entire tent fills with this arcing electricity, blinding you momentarily. And when you come out of it, or when the light subsides, you see that the one in front of her and Kane has turned to glass and just topples over and shatters. Much of the one holding you,
Cool.
Teera, has turned to glass, but it is still clinging on with whatever last vestiges it can remain. Holding on to it. Is your turn, Teera.
Great. I want to escape. Can I get a bonus because part of it's glass? Or no?
It wouldn't.
You can feel free to say
it
no.
wouldn't give you a bonus to an escape. No.
Athletics is a nat 20. Great. I'm glad I used it on that. Like a fucking DC
Well, I
10 or
mean-
some shit.
That's not a DC 10 because
Oh.
you're going against their fortitude DC. So
Yep.
that gives you a total of what?
39.
Because you were going against a 25.
Oh, well.
So you're able to break free
Okay.
from this creature. Now what are you going to do?
I want to hit it with my sword because this time I have my sword in my hand. Here I go. That's a 25 to hit him.
That's
Sorry,
a hit?
23 to hit him.
Yeah, that's a hit.
23? Still? Okay. Super duper. Here I go. This bitch is going down. Oh my god. So I get 3d12 on my big sword, and the first two, I just rolled them together, were both 12s. 24. I shit you not, it's another 12. I
Fantastic.
swear on a stack of Bibles. 36. And plus 2 because I'm still raging, 38, and then plus another d6 because it's cold, so plus another 2 is 40 flat.
40
Teera's pissed off.
Yeah, that's enough. What does it look like when you pour all that damage into this half glass, half sand, and husk creature?
So I imagine Teera, the hand that her sword is in comes like up and through to like break away this hand that has her by the throat. And then as she circles through, she uses that momentum and just slashes up like through it and just sends sand up into the ceiling and just into the air like a goddamn firework and just destroys this thing.
As you kill the last of these things, and King kind of looks at you with this, like, he's really impressed. And then all of a sudden he kind of looks back at you, Marda, and the sort of radiant glow all around, and he goes, "Can you turn that off?"
Undo.
In response, though, Marda, you see all around you in the floor, the sand is disturbing as more of these creatures are beginning to claw their way up, and you realize, no, you probably shouldn't turn this thing off. You have enough time for all of you to get the heck out of this room. before whatever's going to happen happens, as it looks like anywhere from 3 to 6 of these things are clawing their way up out of the sand.
Mm.
Yeah, we're gonna GTFO.
GTFO 100%. We want to slice through the frickin' wall of the thing and out into the storm, I assume.
Cleandra sort of turns, following your lead. She looks at Kane and she takes a step, and as she takes a step, she starts to collapse. Kane quickly reaches out and sort of grabs her, and kind of looking around, he just quickly throws her up over his shoulder.
Wow.
Holds her with one hand, and he's got his sword out, and he moves over to the door, and with his sword, he's motioning to the other two of you. Let's go, let's go!
I follow his lead and go.
You are able to get out and away, and kind of you start making your way through this headquarters space further away from this living chamber. Marda, what happens after you leave?
So this thing, as we're leaving, you can see that through the sand, this figure, I would say looks kind of like Marda, but not entirely. This huge figure looks like someone who might be related to Marda. And this figure stands, and as you see, anyone who's looking back would see it almost nod to in the direction of where Marda is heading, and it's this like very radiant light and very radiant energy as this thing just explodes, like totally separating apart, and each of these, whatever these things are, within a 30-foot of this thing, they all have to make fortitude saves.
Oh my god.
I do not believe this. Every single one of them. 5, 4, 8, 2, 4. And their fortitude bonus is a 15. So every one of them is coming up at around 20 something, early 20s.
Oh my
so
god.
that's, I'm assuming, all going to be fails.
Done.
Yeah, 27 is what Marta's at.
Yeah,
so
the highest one is, I think, is a 23.
Jesus.
Perfect.
It's like
so,
a nuke.
They all take 20 positive energy damage.
You know, in Baldur's Gate 3, when you hit something and kill it with radiant energy, which is one of my favorite things to do, it just sort of glows this magnificent white light, and it just sort of dies screaming. That's what these creatures do as they're climbing out of the earth. They climb up, and they're just still trying to shamble around as they are burning and screaming these dry screams from this radiant bomb that just went off.
God.
As you all are running further away. You move through several rooms, and as you cut into one of the rooms, you find this room is one of the inner rooms of the place, so there's no connection to the exterior. So you seem to hear even less of the storm around you. And as you step into the room, somebody steps in behind you. And Teera, as you see this figure step in, you recognize Yeltha standing there.
Okay. How much of this shit did she
has
see?
her sword drawn. And she just looks at you, Teera, and she kind of looks at all of you, and she looks at Kane holding Cleandra over his shoulder. Not exactly how I was hoping to meet up with you. And then She sheaths her sword, and she close the door and says, "We need to talk." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Ooh, okay.
Literally,
Okay.
all three groups just got ended, and their little scenes ended behind closed doors.
I like to imagine that as we zoom back out, we see Eartha shut the door. We see Yaltha shut the door. We see frickin' Vornush'ka shut the trap door. Like boom, boom, boom. Executive producer Dick
Wow,
Wolf.
I think we just named next week's session "Behind Closed Doors."
Yes, it's
You know,
perfect.
one of the worst things you could ever do to me as a human being, if any of you said, "Ricky, we need to talk," and then like, but later, I'm like, oh, it just crushed me.
I thought you said the worst thing we could do was send you candy corn.
Yes, candy corn and or
with a
Canadian
note
bacon.
that says "We need to talk."
"Oh my goodness, yes,
But not now, later.
yes."
At the end of the workday.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, yeah, that's the worst. Is
Ouch! Ouch!
when you
That
get a
physically
a
hurts.
message from somebody that says, "Hey, can I call you later?"
Can I call you
Yeah.
later?
No, thank you.
You may not.
Especially,
Now or never.
especially if it's HR.
Mhm.
Oh my god! Hey, can we talk during? This is the teacher version. Can we talk during your prep? It's nothing that important. No. Nope.
Which, before we sign off here real quick, Cari, you gave me big teacher vibes yesterday when I uploaded one of the VODs, the most recent Kids on Bikes VOD, and I forgot. Usually the first thing I do is put the title in, and I forgot. So it had my working title, which is just KOB 27 edited or whatever. I'm at the grocery store, and I get a message from Cari on Discord that says, "Hey, you might want to correct your title, buddy." And the vibe I got was, you know, when the teacher's walking around the room while the class is working on everything and you're just making sure everybody's up. You just looked over my shoulder and went, "Yeah, don't forget to change your title."
Everyone, make sure you check your work on number 3.
Oh, that's even worse. I was going to say, you just quietly leaned over and said, "Hey, make sure you fix your title." No, you just said, "Everyone, make sure your titles are correct."
I just like look over. I'm like, ooh, everyone watch the negative numbers on number 5.
Yikes!
Oh man,
I can't deal with
So-
that.
I never do that for that exact reason.
So
Oh my
Gary,
goodness.
you have a week to figure out what, if you haven't already figured it out, what you and Eartha are doing behind closed doors.
I feel like she's already figured it out.
So yeah, we'll continue a little bit of a split next week, but yeah.
What if Eartha's like super musically talented and they're just writing music? They're just
another-
I mean,
Having a
riffing.
jam
mixtape.
session.
Yeah.
Really, if the answer is anything other than a song entitled Ogrekin and Goblinoid to the tune of Ebony and Ivory, have I really done what I do?
Oh my gosh. It
That's
is now
a great
canon
question.
that Eartha is skilled with the hand drum.
Oh my
So-
god.
Ogrekin and Goblinoid.
We're workshopping it.
Yeah. You got a week. You got a week to tighten that up. All right. Well, after a couple weeks of being
Amazing.
off, this was great to be back with you guys again. And we'll be back next week. Also, be sure to tune in on Thursday, which will be our next game, for Welcome to Paradise, Michigan, our Kids on Bikes game. It is our Halloween episode, and it also happens to be the first of the Stapler House arc, which is our haunted house arc that they've been waiting so long to get into.
And somebody had a creative hand in that's not currently in our game, and his name rhymes with Schmicky Schmells.
That's right.
I took a minute. I was like, Mickey.
Who's that?
I was like, what?
All right. With that, I want to say a huge thank you, of course, as always, to everybody who joined us here live in chat, whether you were participating in the chat there or you're somebody that was supporting through likes, subscribes, bits, all that good stuff. Or if you're somebody that's watching the VOD later, or you like to lurk silently in the chat and just listen along, we appreciate you and hope you enjoy our games. And of course, just a tremendous thank you to these amazing players. I hate it when we have to miss weeks and not play together, so I'm glad we were able to get back together once again and get back to this game. So thank you to Gary, Cari, Em, and Ricky, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.